Sa Lunes na ang Game 1 ng V-League Collegiate Conference Finals sa pagitan ng ADMU Lady Bulldogs at ng Ateneo Lady Eagles. Best of 3 series ang finals ay gaganapin ng Game 1 sa Phil Sports Arena. Umabante sa finals ang defending champions matapos i-sweep ang kanilang semifinals matchup kontra sa UP Lady Maroons. Habang na-sweep din ng Ateneo ang FPU Lady Tamaraw sa semis. Rematch din ito ng finals noong nakaraang Collegiate Conference kung saan nanaig ang NU. Samantala, bagong Game 1 ng finals, maghaharap muna para sa third place ang FPU Lady Tamaraw at ang UP Lady Maroons na parehong naghahanda na para sa darating na UAAP season. Okay, for more on the V-League Collegiate Conference Finals between Ateneo and NU, makakasama natin ngayon ang analyst at anchor na si Jing Jamlang. Jing, welcome to The Score. Thanks for joining us, man. Okay, exciting semi-final series you saw. Maybe not what people expected because of certain injuries and yung mga makulang na stars. Pero pag-usapan mo natin yung journey ng Ateneo, very fascinating kasi nga naghabol pa sila just even to make it to the semis. Talk about yung hinabol pa nila para makapasok na sa semis.
Well, kung betting man ka, tapos sinabi mo na lulusot ang Ateneo going to the finals, very few would have made that bet. 0-2 sa elimination round, needed to go through a playoff against TIP para makapasok sa quarterfinal. Had to go through another playoff against San Sebastian para makapasok sa semis. And then they seem to have gotten their act together. They got their teamwork, their chemistry, swept FEU, and now the rematch is on.
Butas ng karayom dinaan nila, no? And we've seen Ateneo do this before in the UAP. When they had to go through the thrice to beat and all those knockout matches. Pero let's talk about that last game that they beat itong FEU. Actually, in the fourth set, they were down 70-20, and then they had this crazy run.
7-1 run.
Anong nangyari sa kanila dun? Paano sila how did they flip the switch and just take over? And remember, this is without Eliza Valdez.
Well, no Eliza Valdez. And I think that's one of the keys for this actual campaign is they will be able to find success without Eliza Valdez. They just seem to have found the momentum at that point in the game. That third set na kailangan nila bumalik. Or rather, correct. It was the third set. Things just started to click for them. And napako nila yung FEU and they were able to turn the tide. And I think when you lose a set like that, lalong-lalo na kung ikaw yung FEU, it's really disheartening. Yung moral nila medyo bumaba and it was easier for them to pick them off in the last set.
Well, there are a lot of young pieces, but of course there's veterans still there. Bea De Leon was huge. How big was she for this team and keeping them together?
Well, 20 points was what she was able to put together, and 14 kills, 4 blocks. So she was doing it on both ends of the court. And she was very impressive in that game, and she will play a key role going into the next round.
Interesting how sometimes the players in the shadows of the stars come out and shine. You know, it's their turn. Okay, for FU naman, not to take anything away from the win of Ateneo, but how big was it that they didn't have Bernadette Pons?
Well, they lost a lot of firepower without Bernadette Pons, and it meant that other players needed to take on a bigger role, and perhaps it was just asking a little bit too much of some of their players to take on that role.
Unlike Ateneo had some time to learn the ropes without Eliza.
The manner in which it happened as well, during the warm-up of Game 1 of the semis, bigla lang siya nagkaroon ng freak accident. So you're all prepared. The setup is there for her to be there. Tapos, mabilis yung turnaround going into the second game. So then, I guess they weren't able to adjust in time.
It happens. Ganyan ng professional sports, even collegiate sports. Okay, shift to the other series naman. NU also winning via sweep against UP. This is, obviously the defending champion, and then they have a girl named Jaja Santiago, who interestingly was late for the game. I mean, this is the game that you did. What was that like?
I had the opportunity to call this game, and right when we were about to start rolling, tsaka palang po dumating si Jaja Santiago. So she's coming from a different engagement. From what we understood pa nga, nabigyan pa siya ng escort ng HPG para makarating. Just to make it to the venue. She was late for the warm-up. She was benched for most of the first set. But that was the set na nakuha ng UP. And then eventually, even with having sat out for the first set, nakakuha pa rin siya ng easily 20 points. For what some of the fans are calling Jaja amazing, Super Jaja, that tower. She's amazing. She can do everything.
UP had a good run. They took that first set. They even led. They were hot in the first set. So what happened? Was it really just the Jaja factor or was it part of the intimidation factor and that UP just crumbled towards the end?
It's funny when you ask if it's the Jaja factor. It's not just her ability to put out the output. It's how she affects her teammates as well. They have the confidence to be able to go to run their offense the way they would like to when Jaja is on the floor. So parang mas may kumpiyansa sila pag nandun siya.
But before UP goes into the battle for third against FU, how would you sum up their journey here, and how does this make things look for them going to the UAP?
I think UP was still very impressive, and in fact, if you look at the statistics, they didn't lose the sets by much against NU, and they were in the game. For the ones that I called anyways, they were in the game for the thick of it. It's just that in the crucial moments, medyo, whether it be inexperience or just, well, I think I would put it down to that, inexperience.
Correct.
They crumbled at minutes where yung NU, they had their composure.
The run was there. But
so, ganun lang kalit actually yung margins.
But that's how they learn. That's how these young kids learn. Okay, let's look ahead to the finals. Ateneo versus NU. They played once, tama ba? But it's not, as you said, it's not a good gauge. Bakit?
Elimination round, nagkita sila, final game of the elimination round, and pasok na sila nun to the quarterfinals.
So medyo, no bearing.
Yes, and there was an opportunity for them to check out their different rotations. And Ateneo, meanwhile, were probably the hungriest team still in the elimination
round. Pa.
Kung hindi nila napanalo yung game na yun, hindi sila lulusot patungong playoff round.
Wow.
So they needed that win.
So must win.
Yeah, they needed that game. So motivation levels wise, malayo between the two sides. So it's difficult to use that as a gauge to see what will happen in the final.
Okay, so given that, but how do you see it? Your gut feel. How do you see this matchup in the finals against a Jaja-powered NU?
It's such a good matchup actually, not only because it's a rematch of last season, but both teams are trying to shake off their superstars. Myla Pablo for NU, Eliza Valdez for Ateneo. And now they're meeting. It's kind of a different setup, although there are some leftovers. Jarrell Singh played in the last one. Jaja Santiago was in that last one as well. And it's underdog that has already gotten a win against the favorite. So there's a lot of layers to this. Plus you have the best setters that are going up against each other. You've also got the best liberos, in my mind, are going up against it as well. So there's a lot of different things. And now you have to take into consideration Bea de Leon, who is playing extremely well for Ateneo, now going up against Jaja Santiago, who a lot of people are saying are unstoppable.
So we'll see. So all the more it makes that matchup in the finals juicy and exciting to watch. So Monday na yun. Abangan po ninyo dito yan sa SNA. So Jing, maraming salamat. We'll see you next time. Thanks, man. Thank you.
For more sports updates, keep watching The Score. And don't forget to subscribe.